Welcome back, bookworms and word enthusiasts. I'm Alex, and with me is my fantastic co-host, Ben.
And I'm Ben, ready to unravel more of Katherine Applegate's brilliant writing in The One and Only Ivan. Today, we're taking a deep dive into pages 46 through 61, covering chapters from guessing to tricks. We're going to pull out those fantastic worth-learning sentences and vocabulary words and really discuss their meaning and how to use them.
Exactly. These chapters are packed with emotional connections and subtle shifts in Ivan's perspective, and we want to explore that language with you. Let's jump right in with the chapter Guessing on page 46. Ben, that first sentence sets up a great contrast. Bob fears our new neighbor will be a giant cat with slitted eyes and a coiled tail. But Stella, with her wisdom, has a different idea.
He sure does. Ivan says, "You're just hoping," I say. Stella closes her eyes. "No," she says softly. "Not hoping. Not at all." This is such a powerful line. It implies Stella isn't just wishing for a baby elephant. Her tone suggests a deeper, more painful certainty that she's already heard the baby's cries and knows it's a tragic situation.
So a key word here is skeptical. Its English definition is not easily convinced, having doubts or reservations.
You use skeptical to describe someone who is doubtful or questions things. For example, the scientist was skeptical of the new theory until she saw the experimental results.
And the second word is scornful. It is an adjective, and its English definition is feeling or expressing contempt or derision.
You use scornful to describe a feeling or expression of disrespect or contempt. For example, he gave a scornful laugh at the idea of flying to the moon on a bicycle.
Let's move on to the chapter Jumbo on pages 47 and 48. Here, Stella tells a very important story.
She gives us her definition of a good zoo, saying, "A good zoo," Stella says, "is a large domain, a wild cage, a safe place to be. It has room to roam and humans who don't hurt." This sentence implies a hopeful alternative to their current life. It's her ideal of what a safe and natural habitat should be, showing that she knows a better life is possible.
And the story itself proves that. She says, Jumbo stroked the child gently. The crowd waited, hushed, expecting the worst. Jumbo led his troop away.
This beautifully implies the gorilla's gentle and protective nature, directly challenging the human stereotype of gorillas as being dangerous.
For vocabulary from this chapter, let's learn amends. It's used in the phrase make amends, and it means compensation for a loss or injury, reparations.
So Stella is suggesting that a good zoo is a way for humans to make amends for their past mistakes with animals.
And the second word is hushed. It's an adjective. Its definition is very quiet or still.
You use hushed to describe a very quiet or silent atmosphere, often due to tension or respect. For example, a hushed silence fell over the audience as the play began.
Next up is lucky on pages 49. This chapter has two really profound sentences.
It does. Ivan asks, "Why was that so surprising?" The boy was young, scared, alone. He was, after all, just another great ape.
This implies Ivan's innocent understanding of their shared nature with humans. He's highlighting how illogical the human reaction was.
And then Bob asks, "Why aren't we in a zoo?" And Stella replies, "Just lucky, I guess," she says.
Stella's sad smile here implies a heartbreaking irony. It's the opposite of being lucky. It's a powerful way to express the injustice of their confinement.
For vocabulary, irony, noun. It's the expression of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite, typically for humorous or emphatic effect.
You use irony to describe a situation where the actual outcome or meaning is the opposite of what is expected or explicitly stated. For example, It was an irony that the fire station burned down.
And the second word is injustice. Noun. Its English definition is lack of fairness or justice.
You use injustice to describe a situation where there is a lack of fairness or a violation of rights. For example, many people protested against the social injustice they witnessed. Let's talk about arrival on pages 50 and 51. This is where the big change happens.
It is. We see Mac's true motivations when he says, "We've got a new arrival. This is Ruby, folks. 600 pounds of fun to save our sorry butts. This gal is going to sell us some tickets."
This implies that Max sees the new baby elephant, Ruby, as not a living creature, but as a product or a commodity to make money. This is a very clear sign of his perspective.
And Ivan's own contrasting observation. "I'm glad for Stella, but when I glance at her, I see that she is not glad at all." This shows Ivan's simple joy, but also Stella's deeper understanding of the tragedy of the situation.
A good word here is scuffling. It's a noun, and its definition is a short, confused fight or struggle. Also, the sound of confused dragging or shuffling movement.
You use scuffling to describe a noisy, confused struggle or the sound of shuffling feet. For example, we heard the scuffling sound of footsteps from the hallway.
And the second word is bankrupt. It's an adjective, and its English definition is declared in law unable to pay outstanding debts, financially ruined.
You use bankrupt to describe a state of financial ruin. For example, the small business went bankrupt after several months of slow sales. Now we get to a huge turning point in the chapter Stella Helps on pages 52 to 53.
This is where Stella's true character shines. One sentence tells us everything we need to know. She catches her swollen foot on the edge of the ramp and winces. Blood trickles down.
That implies Stella's immense pain and sacrifice. She is hurting, but she still limps forward to help Ruby, showing her bravery and dedication.
And when Mac tries to use a broom to force Ruby, Stella's reaction is epic. Mac grabs a broom, he raises it. Instantly, Stella steps in front of Ruby to shield her.
This is a pivotal moment. It implies Stella's selfless act of protection and marks her as Ruby's true guardian, setting a crucial example for Ivan about what a real silverback should be.
For vocabulary, coax. Verb. It's a verb meaning to gently and persistently persuade someone to do something.
You use coax when you try to persuade someone gently, often with a soft voice. For example, she tried to coax the shy cat out from under the bed with a piece of cheese.
The second word is bleakness, noun. Its English definition is a lack of hope or tearfulness, emptiness or coldness.
You use bleakness to refer to a feeling of hopelessness or despair. For example, the empty room filled her with a sense of bleakness. Now we get to the chapter Old News on pages 54 to 55. Ivan gets a little jealous here.
He does. His friend Bob points it out in a hilarious way. "Give it up, Ivan," he says. "You're old news."
This implies Ivan's hurt pride. He feels like he's been replaced as the main attraction by the new baby elephant, which is a very relatable feeling.
And Ivan's frustration builds until he has a fit. He says, "I bite the pencil in half with my magnificent teeth, then I eat some paper."
This act of defiance and frustration implies Ivan's inner turmoil and anger. It shows us that his so-called contented demeanor is starting to crack.
A good word here is overshadowed. Adjective. It's a great word for when you feel like you are less important than someone else.
You use overshadowed to describe feeling less important because someone or something else is getting all the attention. For example, her older brother's success often left her feeling overshadowed.
The second word is pout. Verb. Its English definition is to push one's lips or bottom lip forward as an expression of petulant annoyance or sulkiness.
You use pout to describe making one's lips stick out,
usually to show displeasure or sadness in a childish way. For example, the child began to pout when told he couldn't have another cookie. Finally for today, the chapter Tricks on page 55. This chapter has some difficult truths.
It is a tough one. Ivan is puzzled by human cruelty, so he asks Stella, and she reveals a terrible truth about trainers. She says, they chained Ruby, all 4 feet, 23 hours a day.
And why? Stella's explanation is chilling. To break her spirit, Stella says. This implies the true, heartbreaking purpose behind animal training, to force an animal to obey even if it means destroying their spirit.
A word from this chapter is sulking, verb. It's a verb meaning to be silent, moody, and bad-tempered out of annoyance or disappointment.
You use sulking to describe showing displeasure by being moody and silent. For example, after losing the game, the child was sulking in the corner, refusing to talk to anyone.
The second word is pedestal, noun. Its English definition is the base or support on which a statue, obelisk, or column is mounted, a position in which someone is greatly admired.
You use pedestal to refer to a base for a statue, or, metaphorically, a position of high admiration. For example, the old statue stood proudly on a stone pedestal in the town square.
Wow, Ben, this was a fantastic set of chapters. So much packed into these pages.
It really is, Alex. We see Ivan's purpose start to shift from simply surviving to protecting another. The stakes are getting higher.
Thanks for joining us today, and happy reading.